Welcome to the Stuff Theater, friends. Might I recommend a titillating treat from the concession stand? The Stuff is a new taste sensation to make your movie-going experience perfect. It's low-calorie, gives you a ton of energy, and has no artificial ingredients. It's the taste that'll make you hungry for more. What happened? Oh, right. In the snowy lands of wherever the fuck this is, we find a guy that should have stuck to the common wisdom about not eating yellow snow or pulsating creamy substances. He then gives the worst argument possible for trying something new.
Come on, give it a try. That's not snow. Try it.
And decides,
You know, if this stuff keeps bubbling out of the ground like this, there might be enough of it here that we could sell to people.
Their business plan rivals the underwear gnomes from South Park for sheer simplicity.
Phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 2, Phase 3, profit.
But, as we've seen time and time again, there is an audience for every product. Elsewhere, a kid named Jason is flabbergasted by the amount of dairy products in this fridge. I mean, 4 kinds of milk, half and half, 7 butter-based items, strawberry and plain yogurt, cottage cheese, and Parmesan. Oh shit! I was so fixated on that overwhelming amount of dairy that I totally overlooked the dancing stuff. Jason is caught by his dad, who doesn't believe the stuff is moving and sends Jason to bed. Celebrating a job well done, he treats himself to a pint of delicious non-dancing stuff. Our first in-movie stuff commercial features a sultry lady saying the smoky-voiced line,
Enough is never enough.
And then we jump to a meeting of dessert execs looking to get the inside scoop on the stuff through a corporate spy named
Rutherford, Mo Rutherford. You know why they call me Mo?
No, why?
Because every time people give me money, I always want Mo.
He goes on to describe his job, and I imagine he describes sex the same way.
I'll get inside there, I penetrate the company, I do some damage, but it's going to be expensive.
Mo infiltrates a commercial shoot and has a flirty limo measuring contest with creative director Nicole.
My limousine's just outside.
So's mine.
I bet mine's bigger than yours.
While models strut around in fur coats, swimsuits, and pints of stuff. I'd love to see what zany antics ensue, but we end up in a grocery store covered in stuff. This does lead me to the question of whether it needs to be refrigerated or not, because we see containers everywhere. Jason grabs a rake and starts beating the ever-loving shit out of every container in sight, leading to the unfortunate demise of an innocent Whoppers display. And if this doesn't show that rakes cause more violent behavior than video games, I don't know what does. Mo's investigation leads him to stuff-addicted Danny Aiello and his dog, who later shows his ability to rip a phone cord from the wall and magically transform his innards into stuff. Mo continues things in the middle of nowhere, where he's ambushed by the deadly hands and over-the-top acting of Chocolate Chip Charlie.
And everybody else I trusted would stop, and they brainwashed them, man. Next thing I knew, they was in and I was out.
They make a rather gruesome discovery of what the stuff does to the human body and escape to a diner for some bad improv.
You know, every time I feel like eating, I think of that guy with the mouth. Right off my stomach, you know?
There's another advert featuring the classic 80s fashion of super short shorts over sweatpants, which leads to Jason seeing his family doesn't compost or recycle. But even worse, they talk like they're in a commercial.
Jason, I mean, there's something alive in yogurt. It's called benign bacteria.
Yes.
I mean, there's something alive in a loaf of bread. It's yeast. I mean, that's a living organism.
And give the fridge come hither eyes. Jason rightly hightails it out of there just to be saved by Mo. They infiltrate the main stuff factory, which is interrupted by a stuff-inspired take on the classic Where's the Beef ad.
How's the food, sweetheart? That's nice.
Where's the stuff?
Later, the bed savagely attacks Mo and sprays him with stuff. Nicole decides that the best idea is to burn it off his face, which actually works. An intruder joins the party and the stuff takes an immediate liking to him. I really hope he likes his foreplay super sticky. Everything goes up in flames as Nicole and Mo escape into the night. They discover the stuff reservoir and cause an explosion, burying the entire thing. I can't help but think they're gonna figure out a way to market Rocky Road stuff from this, and it'll be even more popular. Mo then shows off his gift for dad jokes.
Your hose is hanging out back there.
You gonna arrest me for indecent exposure?
Before they get help from a heavy-duty militia-type guy, that kinda makes my skin crawl.
And after this mission, you can reward me in a suitable fashion.
They storm the factory and make this guy squirt. Later, the group finds that the stuff has vacated their humans and congealed into super stuff. Nicole and Jason try to keep ahead of it, but it just keeps coming and coming into tighter places until it explodes, blowing its load all over the place. And then, well, fill in your own sex joke here. Mo, Nicole, and the Colonel fly up to Atlanta to broadcast a warning about the stuff's explosive secrets. Charlie shows up and kind of explodes hard all over everything. It was fire, but certainly not his greatest moment. They get on the airwaves and broadcast an impassioned plea that people stop eating, selling, and distributing the stuff. Surprisingly, it works. But the advertising company comes back with a new product that they claim is both safe and tastes great. Mo holds them to proving it, and they leave a massive mess. We do get one final shot of a back alley black market stuff exchange. It is good to know that the stuff endures. So The Stuff is a 1985 satirical horror comedy directed by Larry Cohen. It stars Michael Moriarty, Garrett Morris, and Andrea Markovici, with special appearances by Danny Aiello and Patrick O'Neill. Originally, Arsenio Hall was set to play Chocolate Chip Charlie, but the studio wanted someone more recognizable and pulled Garrett Morris from the original Saturday Night Live. You don't have to look far to see the influence of 80s era consumerism and corporate greed in the story. It practically jumps down your throat just like The Stuff. Cohen offers a pretty cheeky commentary on how things that are terrible for us can seem super appealing through a snappy jingle or a creative advertising campaign. Despite good reviews, the film wasn't considered a hit. The studio sold it as a horror movie instead of a dark satirical comedy, aiming it at an audience that was probably expecting more gore than scathing commentary on consumerism delivered through sentient white goo. One of the movie's unanswered questions, as well as something I know you really want answered, is what is the stuff made of? Well, on screen we never learn more than it doesn't have artificial ingredients. Behind the scenes, the stuff was Haagen-Dazs ice cream, yogurt, or in the case of it crashing through a wall, fire extinguisher foam. According to Cohen, in some scenes where the stuff chases characters, it's a foam made from blended fish bones, and you can about bet how good that smelled. The thing most people remember about the stuff are the advertising bits, which appear throughout the movie. They're perfectly attuned to the time and feature both intensely memorable jingles,
It's great every way, can't get enough of the stuff.
and a variety of memorable folks, including Brooke Adams, Abe Vigoda, and Claire Peller, doing a variation on her famous Where's the Beef ad. Its effects are a real mixed bag. The stuff effects themselves hit pretty well. The people and dog effects, well, they aren't the worst. At one point, the intruder falls up a wall while being attacked by the stuff. The room itself was equipped to turn upside down and was originally used by A Nightmare on Elm Street, where Johnny Depp's character was sucked into his bed. You'll definitely feel the main message of this stuff, but it takes a cheeky approach to the subject and hits as hard then as it does now. It sets out to make the stuff product front and center, and it succeeds with flying colors. Whether you're talking visuals or dialogue, it all feels ripped straight out of an infomercial for the stuff. The ending left me feeling a lot of things, some of which I'm still processing. For instance, I could totally see an illicit stuff trade kicking up, especially considering how addictive it was, and frankly, I would have loved to have seen more of that. If I was to criticize anything, the idea that a single radio message, despite being superbly written, being able to stop a horde of stuff addicts who are literally eaten from the inside out and driven to murder anyone that doesn't take part, jumps the shark in my book. Other than that, it hits all the right 80s notes, even bringing out some subtle jabs at economic policies and people of the era. You can see a lot of inspiration from mid-century B-movies in the way stuff operates. Take one look at it chasing Nicole and Jason and you'll get massive Blob vibes. Jason's family's single-minded approach to his refusal to eat the stuff would feel right at home with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The stuff is definitely worth a watch. It endures because it has a message that wasn't limited to the 80s, delivered in a colorfully entertaining way. And despite being a fake brand, it's damn near as recognizable as any brand out there today. So what do you think? Suggestions for movies, trivial questions, comments, ratings, and a black market version of the stuff would be appreciated. Thank you so very much for watching.